Hey, how's it going, guys? Good job on the game so far, man. I gotta say, but my main complaint is that you got leatherworkers only have to compete with other leatherworkers for skins. Alchemists compete with other alchemists for herbs, but you have jewel crafting, blacksmithing, and engineering all competing for ore, and it's a real pain.
Yeah, it makes miners pretty important. We do like some sharing materials because it keeps the demand high. There's even some like jewels that have, like I said, the talcite that's gone way down. We don't really have any plans on alleviating mining. One thing we could look at is more mining nodes or a faster respawn. But for sure, we've been talking about putting some more into dungeons too. So you're going to the dungeon and there's adamantite right now, and you'll kill a boss and maybe a couple of corium will pop up, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I have two questions. One is, as a PvPer, are we all going to have to get inscriptions as a profession because you're going to, in order to be competitive, have to have that skill for you, or can you enchant everyone else's skill? And the second is for all the girls in my guild, can you ever be able to dye your armor?
I'll take the first one. You will be able to inscribe other people's spells. You'll basically create a scroll that you can throw up on the auction house or whatever, and they read it, and it'll improve their spells. And for dyeing your armor,
So we don't really have plans to allow you to dye armor. That's one of the kind of philosophical decisions we made. We do plan to add more customization options, like we talked about with Wrath of the Lich King, the hairstyles, dances, etc. We want players to be able to customize, but coloring the armor is something that we feel is very important for us to be able to distinguish different types of gear, such as like Travis was describing earlier. There's the PvP, raid set tiers versus the PvE versions. PvE raid, PvP, you know what I mean. But that's something that we use to distinguish very different play styles, because it's important to us for players to be able to identify, look at a player and say, oh, I know what kind of content that player does. That's just kind of a slightly different philosophy for achieving our look and feel.
Will blacksmiths see a shield pattern again?
Yes. I don't know when.
Hey, first of all, I wanted to thank you very much for the town-specific raid gear. Awesome for Feral Druids. But my question actually is involving leatherworking. When you compare it to tailoring, blacksmithing, those epic patterns, they don't seem to be all that great for leatherworkers when you compare them to the tailoring recipes and the blacksmithing recipes of the other professions. I mean, I've got some raid people that have blacksmithing crafted items in Karazhan, but leatherworking, no.
Part of that is because, well, first of all, blacksmithing gets weapons, and those are super sexy, and those always look better than armor. Second is we over-optimize Shadow Weave, Frozen Shadow Weave specifically, so it was actually a little better than it was supposed to be, and so it doesn't really, it's not a really fair comparison for where we want it to be. Now, as far as leatherworking recipes, like the Primal Strike or whatever, and the stuff for Shaman, we did a second itemization pass to try to bring them closer to that raid gear. But an additional philosophy with that best in slot is we don't want it to be the best forever. It's really there to say, okay, I'm going to have an awesome chess piece to raid until I can get a slightly better one, because we don't want that loot to become uninteresting to you.
I just have one other quick question. I just have to ask this. Is Frostmourne going to drop?
So is what going to drop?
Frostmourne.
Well, we dropped
Not if you don't kill Arthas.
Next question.
The question I had to do with the Legendaries, the current ones in the game. I was wondering if, in addition to the new legendary bow that you're giving us, are you going to upgrade, you know, the ones that are currently in the game, Thunder Fury and Sulfurous?
Yeah, that's me. Actually, no. Basically, the intent behind Legendaries has always been, and I think even our website has said this, is basically the better an item is, the longer it will take you to move on past it. But it's never our intent that you'll go back and, if we did upgrade Thunder Fury, for example, we would have the problem where every warrior in the game is trying to convince their guild to run Molten Core every day of the week. And we really don't want the rest of you to have to suffer through that. So those need to be phased out. They've kind of seen their day, and it's time to move on to better things.
Hi. First thing, rogues are overpowered. Fact, not even a question. Okay. Second of all, my actual question is about legendary items. I've seen a lot of heavy melee legendary items go in and out, but pretty much no legendary items for spellcasters or healers. Where's the love?
Say for healers? Healers. Oh, healers, okay. Yeah, we actually introduced Atiesh for Noxramis, which covered, for the most part, all of the casters. Unfortunately, because Noxramis was pretty short-lived as far as time span that people had in it, they didn't really get too much time to get their hands on it, even less so because you had to kill, I just drew a blank on his name, the Lich. Come on, guys. Oh, wow, there you go, yeah, Kel'Thuzad. So since you had to kill Kel'Thuzad and Cthulhu, that kind of caused some problems for a lot of people who wanted to assemble that. I'm sure beyond the legendary ranged weapon that we'll see the introduction of more caster and healer ranged, or not ranged weapons, but legendary items in the future, since melee have seen more than their fair share as far as that's concerned. So you're going to look forward to something in regards to that. Not sure.
My question is about the tier raid tokens and the sets that go with them, such as the Mage, Hunter, and Warlock sets. They all have one set, and the set tiers such as the Warrior, Druid, and Priest, they have 2 to 3 sets per piece, along with the Paladin and the Rogue and the Shaman. Well, the Rogue only has one set, but is there any chance to, let's say, two of the Hunter and Mage and Warlock pieces drop, and everyone has those? I mean, is there any chance to put an offset into those?
While there's no intention currently to put an extra set for those people, but as far as the class breakdown is concerned, actually one of the things that we've been trying to do and we're still working with, I know it's that way for tier 4 and tier 5, we've got, you know, the Mage, Hunter, Warlock token. When we originally set those tokens up, we basically took a breakdown of the player population and sort of split the classes out based on the population to try and keep them as equally desired. What I totally didn't even consider when I was doing that, however, was the fact that those people had no redundant sets. And you basically ended up with 3 sets on that token where you had 9 sets on one of the other tokens. It sort of gave more life to the other tokens. What I did with the tier 6 tokens, and I will probably use going forward more, and while the class combinations are still up for discussion, the one that we currently have, which is showing on screen, I'm not sure if you can see it though, we reorganized the class combinations to try and even out the desire of tokens. So for example, wow, I can't see that from here. We've got Warrior, Hunter, Shaman is 1 token, Rogue, Mage, Druid is another, and the third is Paladin, Priest, Warlock. So we kind of tried to split those people who only did one set and put them with people who wanted, you know, oh, now I've got my healing gear. Hey, you guys mind if I get my red gear? Well, not your red gear, but your tank gear. Whatever the case may be. So that's an issue that we are trying to address more going forward, and hopefully in the next task of tokens we'll get the job done better.
Hello. I play a priest, and in the class discussion it was mentioned about the Holy Trinity. of Spirit of Redemption, Light Well, and Circle of Healing. What we also have